A few years back, our good friend Jeff shared a little secret recipe that took our Thanksgiving meal to a whole new level, from here to here. And with his permission, today I'm going to share it with you. Whether you prefer stuffing or dressing, I'm 100% sure this recipe is going to replace your current recipe. Thanksgiving is the Super Bowl of cooking, and each part has to be great. We all know dressing is too important not to get right. It's a staple. It's got to be on the table. Let's get started with the base of our recipe, the cornbread. Keeping it classic here, just the recipe on the back of the box with a small little twist. We're going to use Jiffy cornbread. We're going to add 2 eggs, 2/3 cup of milk, 4 tablespoons of butter, and here's the slight twist. We're going to add some sugar. Our friend who gave us the recipe uses Splenda, but your choice. Next, you're going to whisk to combine. Pour it into an oiled casserole dish. Now we're going to use my handy dandy little offset spatula to smooth it out a bit. Let it rest for about 10 minutes while your oven preheats. 400 degrees for 15 minutes. And here's a good idea, just bake it the day before and save yourself a little time. The full recipe is at the end of the video, so stay tuned for it. While that's cooking, let's talk about the secret ingredient that gets overlooked, which is the broth. In a saucepan, pour 4 cups of chicken broth and a turkey leg, and I was able to find a 4-pack of legs at the store, so I didn't have to worry about roasting a whole turkey for this one. So now to chop up some veggies. I've got a half of a large bell pepper, about a half a cup. Next, a half of a diced onion, still about a half a cup, and another half a cup of celery, which is just like 3 or 4 stalks. We're going for a slightly chunky texture here, but you can play with those amounts. Remember, you can measure more precisely, but I like to be a little bit heavy-handed with my measurements. But hey, that's just how I cook sometimes. Most of the time. Add the veggies to your broth. Let it all boil until the onions are clear. The turkey leg, the veggies, the broth, all of it's just going to add more flavor to our dressing. This takes about 10-15 minutes. Let's check our cornbread. It's pretty brown, but still slightly jiggly, and a little extra sugar makes it darker faster. So we're going to cover it with a little foil to make like a little tent and bake it for like an extra 5 minutes. You know it's done when you stick a toothpick inside and it's not all gooey. Cornbread's done. It's time to bring everything together now. We're breaking up that cornbread. I let it cool some, but it's still a little warm, and that's okay. If you did it the day before, it'll be nice and cool for you. Either way works. Question time, are you team dressing or team stuffing? Dressing gets baked in the oven, stuffing gets stuffed in the turkey. So for here, we're gonna keep the seasoning classic. We've got salt, we've got pepper, which is optional, and rub sage. I like the fluffy stuff. It looks so fluffy. The smell of sage reminds me of fall. I just love it. Just kind of scoop out a bunch of like my vegetables that I have in here and use most of those, if not all of them. Now we're gonna pick all of this meat off of our turkey leg here. Shred the meat up. Now add your broth until it's about the texture of peanut butter and stir it all together. And remember, don't throw that extra broth away. It's perfect for other dishes. Make a gravy out of it or a soup. Next, we add a can of cream of chicken soup. The original recipe called for cream of mushroom also, but I'm not a big fan of that, so you do you. Just a little bit more pepper on top, and now it's time for the oven. Bake it at 350 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. As a bonus, here's a quick cranberry sauce montage. So orange juice and some sugar and a nice dash of cinnamon. Bring that to a boil and let it simmer for 10 minutes. It'll thicken up nicely and way better than that canned jelly stuff. It smells so good in here, doesn't it? You'll notice it's still got a little fluff, and that's what we love about it. Delicious. I came prepared. And there you have it, the best cornbread dressing with a side of homemade cranberry sauce. Let's give it a try. That is delish. It's a complete meal. You got the cornbread, you got that sage flavor, lots of vegetables. Love the turkey in it. It's a whole complete meal all by itself. And I love that kick of pepper right on top. It's perfect. Either have it with gravy or homemade cranberry sauce. Great for Thanksgiving, so go make it. I'd like to thank Jeff for sharing his incredible dressing recipe. And no, you still can't have my banana bread recipe. Top secret. But I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen today, where we turn simple ingredients into a masterpiece. Be sure to subscribe for more delicious recipes. Until next time, happy cooking. Bye. Thanksgiving is the Super Bowl of cooking, and each part has to be great. We all know dressing is too important not to get right. It's a staple. It's got to be on the table. It's part of the meal. It's an important player. I guess Thanksgiving is a Super Bowl, and the dressing is a player, and he's got to be, I don't know what position he would play, but dressing is not the turkey, but dressing is definitely a supporting role that is important.